What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Benzinga Crypto Show. Let me mute my computer here to my right. I'm sure that's getting picked up in the mic. What's up, everybody? If you're just tuning in to the Benzinga Crypto Show and you're coming over from the EA Play Live 2021 video stream, welcome. We have an exciting show for you guys today. A very interesting and relevant guest prior to our previous stream. I'm producer Aaron. With me, as always, is Catherine Ross. How are you doing today, Catherine?
I'm doing great, despite the fact that my dog is being annoying again. That's why here it is. Just
your Doji is
my
he's acting up.
Yeah, that's the one. My only one. I'm doing great. We're seeing a bit of a uptrend movement in the crypto market. So I think this is something that everybody's
I took a look.
Yeah,
I took a look at the heat map today, just quickly before we went live, and honestly, today is looking like a good day. So let's get that up on the screen for you guys right now, and here we go. Nice. So quite the turnaround from Tuesday, if we are correct here. Bitcoin
sure.
was at like $29,000 on Tuesday, Ethereum at 1,700, and so on and so on. But now we're in a green day. Catherine, why do you think we're seeing a better turnaround today?
Well, we have talked about the fact that the drop below 30K is just something that it's gonna. Just 1 second. He's being annoying. Yes. So it was just a dip, and that was the resistance level, and we're gonna go a little bit up. At the same time, this looks like something that is not gonna last, unfortunately, right? So it's just a little bit of a upward movement for a very short period of time, according to my sources and according to different analysts. So I do have executive director at digital assets hedge fund ARC36 kind of comment, and he says that a drop below the 30K level wasn't surprising or overly concerning, as BTC has traded in this particular range for more than 8 weeks to gain support. But he's not surprised if we're going to see another dip even lower. At the same time, I do have head of trading at asset management crypto finance firm saying that he's not going to be surprised if Bitcoin goes as low as 22K. So again, as you can see, Aaron, everybody's pretty bearish at this time, right? So
yeah,
I feel like personally, I feel like we're going to see a little bit of a downward movement, but I am not sure, and this is the time for a disclaimer if you had it somewhere.
Oh yes, absolutely. This is everybody's favorite part of the show where we tell you the disclaimer. All content is for informational purposes only and not to be used as investment advice. Opinions do not represent those of Benzinga. Hosts and guests may maintain positions in the securities discussed. Now that is out of the way, go ahead, Catherine.
Yeah, as we've been saying, right? And actually, we discussed that before. Our viewers, thankfully, shared their opinions and saying that they don't think that we are in a bearish market, and they actually hoped that with some sort of news and announcements, we're going to see Bitcoin go up, right? I'm very critical. I don't think that we're going to see that, but you never know, Aaron.
Totally. Actually, just real quick, Jonathan Dominguez in the chat is saying 28K is the level we need to be worried about for breaking. How do you feel about that?
I agree because I've seen the 29K level as a very important level to see if Bitcoin has enough support and if it's resistant, right? So I generally agree. 28, 29 is it's going to be a pretty prominent point for Bitcoin to see if it's going to survive. So
okay, yeah. Hopefully that answers your question there, or not question, more so addressing your statement there. And Vape King with the question, is crypto dead? Hopefully not, because then we wouldn't have a show for you guys. But I hear the U.S. government is trying to make it same as stock investment. In other words, same as security. What are your thoughts there?
Actually, the SEC commissioner just yesterday published pretty much what you're saying, right? Published a paper saying that they're going to look at cryptocurrency as security, but it's not surprising because this is something that, has been around for a couple of years now, and it has been addressed and dealt with as security. So there is no surprise in there. As long, with at the same time, we saw Bitcoin mining being shut down in the state of New York. Shut down, not the right word, limited, right?
Mhm.
And no new operations are going to take place anytime soon. At the same time, to your point, right, to our commentator's point, sorry, that's just my chat. So at the same time, we saw China completely banning cryptocurrency. So it's even worse in China. And as we discussed before on this very show, China and Chinese traders are actually have a huge percentage over the entire market. So they dominate in the numbers. A lot of crypto traders come from China. So to your point, again, crypto is not dead. It has been around since 2008 when Satoshi Nakamoto published the white paper, and it had developed at a very high level in 2013, and it went up from that. It is not dead. We are just probably entering the crypto winter. So this is something. Yeah. Yeah.
I have
this
it.
Is yeah.
Oh,
this
no,
is
don't
a
have it.
No,
Sorry.
you don't have a. Okay. So that disappointed. Okay, so crypto winter is a period of time where crypto assets do not go up, especially they don't reach the high levels that they had experienced before for a very long time. So this is something that we saw in 2018 and 2019, unfortunately. Wow. Yes.
So a lot to consume there. Catherine, let's get into some headlines. What do we got in the news?
So basically what we're going to see today and we're going to discuss today is main takeaway from last night's conference, right? So the B conference, highly anticipated event in the crypto space, right? Where that featured Cathie Wood, Jack Dorsey, and Elon Musk. This is the first ever conversation between three of them. And so I was actually expecting a lot more coming from it. But for me, a reporter from the space, I've seen this, I've heard this, there's nothing new, but let's just recap on what everybody of that prominent guest had to say. And before we go in there, my best friend is watching the show. So hi, Lena, thank you for tuning in. I promised her the shout out.
Nice.
So hi.
Had to do it. No, all good.
Drop us a comment. Drop us a comment below.
Absolutely. If you're in the chat, throw us a one, throw us a hello. What's up? How's it going?
Yes.
I had a quick thing and then I lost track. Oh, found it. Okay. So guys, yes, we did also cover the B Word conference on our channel, or the B conference, the B Word conference. I've heard two different things, but we did cover it on our channel. The guys over on Moon or Bust Show on the same channel, Benzinga Crypto, they were actually live streaming the entire conference and providing commentary. So if you haven't checked it out or you haven't watched the B conference yet, go ahead and go to benzinga.com or youtube.com/benzinga and search for that video and get your information.
Yeah, because I think it's very useful to see those three come together and discuss the potential of Bitcoin in the entire crypto industry. So you can just watch the recap, the comments from our team, right? And I think you'll enjoy it. So let's just dive into what Elon Musk had to say. And I have to admit, at some point, I thought he's going to fall asleep because he's a character, right? And at SNL, he admitted that, he's building rockets and he's going to go to space. And his quote was, "Did you really expect me to be normal?" So I really loved his mimics. And I think you should watch it because this is just, everybody tried to be serious, but Elon Musk was just like this. It was hilarious. Okay, so to the Doge army, if we have someone right here, I'm sorry to say, but Elon Musk's main statement that made a lot of headlines was that he owns Bitcoin a lot more than he owns Doge. And that would be pum 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 again, but Aaron does not have that sound apparently today.
No,
we're gonna forgive you for this one. So yeah, he owns Bitcoin and I quote some Ethereum and some Doge. So this is not something that you guys probably want to hear. And you see, he did mention that he owns Baby Doge or Daddy Doge or Shiba Inu coin.
Yeah,
So
I highly doubt that he's going to disclose his positions in altcoins right now, especially since there are a lot of eyes, are on him and focused on him and his positions and holdings. So just holding any of that is just like a bullish flag for a lot of people that are following the altcoins and everything like that. So I'm sure he's watching his words.
Yeah, absolutely. And because the SEC is not happy about him tweeting all the time, right? So he actually had to step down a couple of years ago from the board of directors of Tesla for tweeting about Tesla. But yeah, talking about Tesla, one of the statements that he made. So he only owns stocks from Tesla as the one public. So he owns only Tesla stock when it comes to publicly traded companies. At the same time, both Tesla and SpaceX own Bitcoin on their balance sheets, right? So this is also pretty interesting. And then he said that at some point he asked his Starlink company to consider installing Bitcoin terminals into the satellites, which is pretty awesome. And I could just see him coming at the office and like, let's do that, let's install Bitcoin terminals in the satellites. This is something I believe that he did, right? And I think so there was one important statement that I forgot. Oh, Bitcoin mining, right? So he decided to stop and to hold accepting Bitcoin payments, for Tesla vehicles 2 months ago. And this is something that brought a huge conversation about the environment and crypto mining. But he actually hinted that he's going to accept that Tesla is ready to accept Bitcoin again, as long as Bitcoin miners going to show that it had become, or it is becoming, the crypto mining, it is becoming much more environmentally friendly. So he said that before, but he just confirmed that during the conference. So Aaron, how do you feel about everything he said? The one and only, the biggest influencer in the world? Except Kim Kardashian, of course.
No, I'm sure she's almost irrelevant in these days. But I don't know. Just I'll have to go back and watch the conference for real. I obviously was working during that time, so wasn't able to catch it. I do want to formulate my own opinions and see what all these big figureheads are talking about. So I will go back and watch it. So I do apologize if I don't have an exact opinion right now.
I'm sorry to throw you under.
No, you're totally fine. Actually, you can do it anytime.
Yeah, but guys, let us know in the chat how do you feel about that? If you're surprised to hear that, and what kind of points you'd love to hear more. So when it comes to Jack Dorsey, this is one of my favorite tech personalities, and I think he's doing great things, even though people are furious about Twitter. I have thoughts on that, but it's not the topic of today's conversation, right? So he's the CEO of both Twitter and Square, right? So Square is something that has been the company that has been working with crypto payments and has been working in that direction for a while. He actually announced last week that he is working, and Square and him and some other guys he didn't mention are working on a fintech platform that is going to be devoted to Bitcoin, and it's going to be completely open sourced, and everybody could see the progress that they're making, and the progress report and everything else is going to be transparent, something that you could follow on GitHub, right? So, and yes, so I think I don't, again, I love Jack, but that's it, at the end of the conference, he said that he believes Bitcoin is going to bring world peace, and this is something that I don't know, press secretary at the White House might say. This is very noble, as I call it, last night. So pretty cheesy, but yeah. But let's hope that it is going to bring the world peace. So he also said that on the Square side, he supports open development to facilitate the growth of Bitcoin, and on the Twitter side, and this is actually very interesting, he is working on, and the team is working on creating a decentralized social media platform too. And now I'm very interested in your thoughts, Aaron.
Here's my thought.
Yeah, like
So
yeah.
he wants to accomplish world peace, and I understand his concept and thinking behind it. But for these countries to really adopt Bitcoin as a form of payment, they essentially need to be brought into modern times, right? There are third world countries out there that could greatly benefit from the benefits of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
On the decentralization and all of that. But do they have the technology? Are they able to, do they have the processes in place for such things? So that's my thinking. It's more so like, yeah, it's a great thought and everything, but we need to focus on, bringing these other countries up to par in order to, have them adopt these modern, currencies and such.
Yeah, when we talk about different countries, right? I've recently talked and like actually moderated a panel at Africa Blockchain Conference, and there were a lot of representatives from Kenya, and one of the guys told me that it's pretty controversial. According to the central bank of Kenya, right? You couldn't actually use cryptocurrency, you couldn't own them and withdraw them, but at the same time, the government is considering introducing Bitcoin following the Salvador's example. So it's very controversial. It is not official, but at the same time, they consider something to be, something to be done around the entire crypto assets industry. And I think we actually talked to Matt James, I think, The Bachelor,
Matt
right?
James.
And I think something very beautiful that he said, and I appreciated. He said that Bitcoin specifically and other crypto assets can help communities that are being, that actually, being taken advantage of, and the government might be very biased toward like different communities, and so crypto assets can help them overcome that and get a house, be financially independent. So I agree with your point, and maybe something we might see something like that happening in the future, even though we might be in the crypto winter. The last thing I'm going to ask you is if we have a guest waiting.
Our guest is ready. Unfortunately, we can't get to our headline that we plan to cover. But let's just bring on our guest. I'm sure we're going to have an even more interesting conversation with him. So, guys, in the chat and in the audience, who do we have for you today? It's a very interesting and super exciting guest. I'm actually very excited for this conversation. We have Walter Wang, the head of operations over at TSM FTX, formerly known as just TSM, but we're going to get into that shortly. So let's bring him on. Hey, how's it going, Walter?
Hey, guys. How are you all?
Good. Doing great. Thank you for joining us.
Excited to have you on the show. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I have to admit, Aaron has not been pretty excited about a lot of guests because they're very like crypto oriented, and he's just been talking about you before the show, so he's very excited. And
I'm very excited. I love TSM. I love everything that you guys' organization does. I follow you guys on pretty much all my social media, so I'm very excited for this conversation.
I can confirm that. So before we're going to go with like tokenomics and blockchain in the esport industry, let us talk a little bit about your experience, right? Your background and your journey to crypto.
Journey to crypto. Well, cannot say I am an expert in crypto at all. However, I will say that I have been in the esports industry for about 7 years now. So my journey has always been, I've always been a video game player, try to play a little bit of competitive League of Legends, and originally started off on the brand side, doing video game marketing for a company called HTC. They make, HTC Vive, the VR, mobile phones, things like that. Did that for about 4 years. Then, did investments for a family office for about 2 years. And then, I've always been really good friends with Andy, with Dan, and they sort of called me up and said, hey, look, TSM, we need someone to help run operations, and the rest is sort of history. And obviously, recently we announced our recent partnership with FTX, It was the largest sort of esports deal in history, I guess. And we're really excited about working with FTX, learning a little bit more about crypto, working with them on a couple of cool initiatives. Yeah.
That's awesome. So we definitely wanted to get into the FTX partnership. So if you don't mind, Walter, do you mind telling us, how that kind of came to be and how exactly your partnership works?
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's really funny how this deal came to be. So Andy, our CEO and founder, he was learning a lot about crypto, especially from our VP of Technology, Adil, and he was like, "Whoa, dude! There's this really, really cool crypto exchange, FTX, and their founder and CEO Sam is a really cool guy. You should reach out to him." And obviously, Andy, being very curious, actually DM'd Sam on Twitter.
Of course.
And he DM'd Sam on Twitter to actually ask about FTX, what they were up to learn more about crypto. And turns out that Sam, also plays a lot of League of Legends. He's famous for playing League of Legends during meetings, right?
Nice.
That he takes, and they hit it off. And eventually, we found out, like, hey, look, there's a lot of synergies between our two businesses. We have the right demographic. For crypto adopters, for crypto users, and we decided to form a partnership, and it sort of started off a DM, and it was a sprint for about a month and a half to close the deal. So that's sort of how it happened.
It's quite the DM.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Your partnership actually states that this is a $210 million partnership, right? Could you speak a little bit about this kind of money, what it's going to be spent on?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a $210 million naming rights deal. So if you look at traditional sports, you see Staples Center, right? The Staples company sponsors the Staples Center. It's kind of like that for our esports team, but we're all digital.
Mhm.
So when FTX has sponsored and did a naming rights partnership with us, we changed our name, or changed our entire name for our esports organization. So we
That's
are no
huge.
longer TSM, but we are TSM FTX. And what does that mean? Well, it's actually kind of crazy visibility if you kind of think about it, because you're not just on a logo and a name on an arena, but every single one of our competitive players has changed their handles to TSM FTX.
Mhm.
So we have millions of followers on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, and every time you see a post, a comment, or just go to a profile of one of our players, it'll literally say TSM FTX. So if you think about how many times you just scroll through your Twitter feed, and if you follow any TSM players, you'll always see FTX on your feed.
Yeah, so
yeah.
a little bit on that. So before I actually read the article about your guys' partnership, I think I was watching Myth, or I was watching Hal. That's who it was.
Right.
I was watching Hal, and he had his name to FTX on his handles, and I was like, well, wait a second, what happened to TSM? So then after I read the article, I was like, oh wow, this is huge. And then literally a week later, one of my colleagues presented us an email for you guys to come on the show, and I was like, oh no, this is crazy. So yeah,
it is crazy, because if you think about Imperial Hal, right? If you think about how many people watch him live, right?
Insane.
When he was streaming ALGS finals championships, he was pulling in 60,000, 70,000 concurrent viewers.
Mhm.
And just think about that. If that was in a stadium, that would fill the largest stadium in the United States, which is SoFi Stadium, at 70,000 people. 70,000 people are watching him live, and he has FTX branding on his overlay. He has it in his name, his literal gamer tag, and in his stream broadcast. So the visibility is honestly very valuable for FTX.
It's huge.
So for FTX is a huge exposure, right? But from your side, for TSM, could you speak a little bit about what this brings to you? I know that you're going to use the FTX token, right, for gamers. There's NFTs are involved somehow, right? Could you speak a little bit about that from your side?
Yeah, absolutely. So we haven't really technically, I don't know if this is, we are technically using the FTT token. We did say that we would purchase, because in the spirit of our partnership, we did purchase $1 million of FTT, just as in the spirit of our partnership, and we're holding that. And in terms of NFTs, right? That's something that we're in the works. I can't speak too much about it, but I think that there's a really interesting intersection between video games, esports, and the crypto world, especially in NFTs. I'm sure you guys all know about, a lot of the blockchain games that are coming out.
Yep.
And I think that we are looking to learn from FTX a lot because they're experts in the space to understand what our play in the crypto space is and what we're going to do with NFTs. Some other esports teams have obviously already released NFTs, like art or specific esports moments and things like that. But we're still developing and figuring out what exactly we want to do.
Okay. Are you going to use other tokens and any other cryptocurrencies for incentives or for anything like that?
In terms of incentives and things like that, we are trying to actually for our company, we are trying to make sure that everyone in our company, from our staff and our players, to actually really understand crypto. And so, for example, for all of our players, we're actually giving them all crypto as a bonus because of this deal.
Oh, wow.
And so that was sort of the idea. And so like to get them to understand crypto, to get them to understand the financial world, because I'll be very honest, I mean, a lot of our players are very young, right? Some of our players 15, 16 years old. And so we have to educate them. We have to do a lot of education, not only just about basic financials, but we want to tell them about the interesting developments in crypto and how it's going to really change the financial landscape.
So that was actually my next question, like a follow-up. How do you think crypto industry, blockchain, tech, and specifically decentralization, right? How it can change the esport industry in the future?
Esports industry in the future. Yeah, I think it could change the esports game in the future. I mean, if you think about digital items, if you think about collectibles, right? They're already really big in video games already, right? And so using NFTs, using crypto to sort of expand on that will be very, very interesting. For example, and also like blockchain games, for example. A game I've been following, I think it's called Axios Infinity, right? It's a game that I've been following because, some people have been talking about it at the office. It's like, oh, it's very interesting, right? You have collectibles, you have a game component, you have an NFT component. And so I think that, honestly, video games could be one of the ways that a lot of people adopt crypto and adopt blockchain technology. Because if you think about it, as a gamer, I'm already used to virtual currency. I'm already used to digital items.
Right.
And we're usually, I guess, as a demographic, we're usually a little bit more tech savvy. So I think that's like a really interesting bridge and between our two industries.
I do have a very different question, but I've always been wondering, what does a head of operation do at a gaming company? Like, what's your day like? Could you walk us through that?
Yeah, it's hard for me to explain as well because I do a little bit of everything. The best way I can describe it is that we have a vision for our company, right? And then it is my job to make sure all the departments all sort of execute on that vision and work well together, right? That's the most broad way I can describe it. So what does my day look like? Well, it could be different every day. So for example, back in November, December, it was off season for our League of Legends team. So what I did every single day was I was working with our GMs, right? Scouting new players, figuring out contract terms, negotiating with players and agents on our budget, how much we're going to pay for certain players. Are we going to sign and trade anybody? Are we going to promote anyone from our academy roster, right? Typical day like right now, I'm going to be speaking with a lot of our sponsors and our partners, right? Because the majority of how esports teams make money is through sponsorships right now. That's our largest revenue stream. And so I have to obviously make sure that our sponsors get the right visibility, get the right reporting metrics, and then also make sure that all our marketing activations for them are going well, whether that's shooting a piece of content for Cadillac, for example, or making sure that the new mouse from Logitech is promoted correctly, right? I'm wearing a Logitech headset right now. Shout out to Logitech.
I own the same one.
Nice. It's the best one.
Oh yeah, G Pros are fantastic.
Exactly. And so I sort of oversee a little bit of everything, in the sense I oversee sales partnerships, finance, legal, HR. And so I just have to make sure that the biggest priorities of the company are done to push the business forward as much and quickly as possible.
It is painful to even think about it. So I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I know how stressful the gaming space is.
Yeah.
And how, like, there are the high moments, they have their low moments. So running all the stuff in the behind the scenes, I'm sure is craziness in and of itself. So kudos to you for all that, for sure.
Yeah, Aaron,
Yeah.
I believe you have some crypto related questions as well. About portfolio, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So, like, let's see. I had a good question earlier, and I completely kind of lost my train of thought. So, Catherine, if you can take a question
yeah,
for now, and
yeah.
then I'll
We
circle
were
back.
just look through the chat. Maybe we have questions from the chat.
Sure.
So we were wondering if you follow crypto space enough to tell us what kind of projects you're excited about, and if you have your portfolio, if you trade, if you're involved in trading, or have you invested in any projects so far?
Yeah. So I'll be very honest. I do not know as much about the crypto industry, as much as I would like to, considering my time constraints.
Yeah.
But I have, I mean, this is not financial advice, but I have invested in a couple of tokens in the past. I mean, back in 2014, I think, but 2014, 2013, I bought my first Bitcoin, right? And
Oh wow,
so,
you got in good then.
yeah, I mean, I sort of experiment. I'll be very honest. I don't really know. I don't. I'm not the expert, is what I'm saying. But I kind of just buy and hold things. Um, and in terms of projects that I'm currently looking at, like, obviously, um, I looked at Bitcoin. I've looked at a couple of crypto games I've already talked about. Um, I've been trying to learn a little bit more about Solana, a little bit more about obviously FTT and the FTX platform, because we are really close partners. So those are the projects that I'm following. But I'll be very honest, I'm no expert, so don't listen to me. And I'm mostly focused on gaming and esports. Yeah.
Sure.
Does TSM and FTX, since your guys' demographic is generally a lot younger, or within a younger range, do you guys have any plans for maybe some kind of educational content coming out, or partnerships in that kind of aspect? So because you have so many younger people watching you, it is a good opportunity to kind of, inform them about the crypto markets and space.
No, absolutely. This is actually something. This is a good point you're touching on. Is that one of the reasons why we partner with FTX is because of our demographic, right? It's young, and we wanted to really create a lot of educational content, especially with the lighthouses, the celebrities, or the players we have, to the fans that we have, about financial literacy, and of course about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So the first step, obviously, is something that we're doing in collaboration with FTX, is that we're actually doing a whole educational info session with all of our players and all of our staff to teach them about cryptocurrency, how blockchain technology works. And so we're literally going through every single team and literally doing these info sessions to educate them. And eventually what that will happen is, as these players become more and more educated, they'll be able to talk about it on stream, right, to their fans when they ask about it. And then obviously we have marketing activations planned with FTX every single year of our partnership that will revolve around YouTube content, right? And a lot of that will be educational focused. Some of it will be, I can't really talk about it now, but possibly some challenges that we do in partnership with FTX, right? And also some charity tournaments. We actually ran the recent 100K Dota 2 tournament that FTX did internally, and we'll be doing a lot more of those in the future. So that's all really exciting.
Oh, wow. Yeah, definitely very excited for that, and excited for more crypto education.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be the entire generation coming into the crypto space. Yeah, that's awesome. So, Aaron, do we have any questions from the chat?
Just one from Tito Smiles. I'm sure Walter doesn't know the answer to this, but he's asking, will FTX ever be a legal trading platform in America? We'll stay tuned, follow FTX. I'm sure they will announce news on that. So just outside of, crypto, any exciting, projects coming up for TSM, big tournaments, any plans, charities, anything like that in the works? Go ahead and let us know.
Yeah, so we actually just recently launched our first in a long time, our first core collection. That's our apparel, 2 days ago. So come check that out on tsmshop.com. And then continue to support if any of you TSM fans are watching this, continue to support our teams. We just qualified for the Rainbow Six Major in Mexico.
Congrats.
And we'll be announcing some very interesting teams upcoming, hopefully soon.
And some new games, new Valorant team, or
new
no?
games.
You have a Valorant team, new Valorant roster, or
new Valorant
games?
roster, new fifth. People have been asking. New fifth.
Okay.
They play this. They play. I think they play starting today.
Oh,
So
wow.
you'll see the new player in action. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I will definitely keep watching on Twitch, keep watching on YouTube, following you guys on all my socials. I'm a huge fan of TSM, so thank you so much, Walter, for joining us today. This has been such a fun conversation and very insightful in terms of the TSM FTX partnership. So thank you again for joining us.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're looking forward to that announcement. We're very excited.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Walter, you take care. Have a great rest of your weekend.
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Aaron?
That was fantastic. I was trying to keep it together the whole time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to nerd out. I didn't want to geek out and ask him so many questions about all the teams and everything, because we got to keep it level headed. He's a cool guy. Hopefully we have him come back. I am really interested to see if they want to educate their players. I want to see if maybe they're interested in coming on our show. Maybe we could talk to them, see what they know, see what they don't know, and they can turn to the chat, see if they can get some tips, tricks, that kind of thing. I would love to bring anybody from TSM or any gaming organization on to the show to talk about crypto. That would be great.
I am sure that you wrote down a lot of points. You're going to watch a lot of Twitch streams.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. The most exciting thing for me is that they are educating younger generation. And again, it sort of gives me hope that crypto industry is here to stay for a very long time.
Right. No, and that was one of the biggest points that I believe we could pull out of that conversation is the education fact. Because as he was saying earlier, right, there are multiple players on multiple teams of TSM. Just one of their players on a big event day can garner 70,000 viewers in one session, right? Could you imagine 70,000 people watching one person at a time? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So look at those all those eyeballs, the demographic that they stream to. They're generally the younger crowd. So to educate them on crypto and to have that younger generation know more and be educated on that definitely is a good sign for crypto and the longevity of it.
Absolutely. So do we have to sort of announce biotech or there is no biotech today?
No biotech today, guys. Sorry about that. So we will give you a quick 25-minute break because I'm going to end the stream shortly here. But tune back in at 3 o'clock to win some awesome prizes on Benzinga's Zinger Stock Trivia. Zinger Stock Trivia is a game where I host personally, along with a few other of my colleagues, and we just have some fun. It's a nice little break in your day where you get to play along with us here in the office. The theme today and the theme tomorrow is actually even better, but the theme today is geography. So guys, pull out those geography books. Brush up on your locations, your destinations, and everything. It's going to be a fun one. You play along with us, you participate in chat, and you know what you win? You win some awesome Benzinga swag. Where am I? Here I am. Boom. I got my Benzinga hoodie on right now. The office is a little cold, but this definitely keeps me warm. So with that,
Aaron, before we go, you know that I would beat you, right?
You would beat me.
We did have a conversation.
I bet. I know.
Once. Yeah.
I'm sure you would beat me in geography. I will give it up for that. That's fine. I will admit defeat, Catherine. I'm sure you'll beat me in a lot of other things as well. So we won't get into a competition now. Maybe we'll save it for another day.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today for the Benzinga Crypto Show. We will catch you again next week, Tuesday and Thursday, 2 p.m., same time, with the same awesome guests that we bring to you every single week, twice a week.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So thank you again for tuning in. You guys all be well. Tomorrow's Friday. You got the weekend after that. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Be safe and be well. Love you.